Greetings and welcome to Relationships Unfiltered, a podcast about relationships, love, lifestyle, romance, passion, sex, and a whole bunch more. I'm your host here, Rashad Bakir, once again, and thank you for tuning into my channel. You can keep up to date with me at my YouTube channel, which is RB Media 323. You can follow me on Twitter or Instagram. Just type in Rashad Bakir to look that up. And also, you can find my show, rather, on the Spotify and other podcast platforms as well, too, in audio version. Folks, welcome back. We are going to get into the really, what is it like dating online, dating in dating apps, and all that other fun stuff and not so fun stuff that comes with it. I know that, like many of you know, there are millions upon millions of folks online, in dating apps, in these spaces, trying to find relationship, romance, and love, if not all three of those. And into 21st century, particularly, has been a game changer in the way in which people have gone about trying to meet. No longer are we in the small village days where you typically would meet someone in the village. You know, pretty much that was your best pickings, so to speak. However, today in this modern age, we're international, we're meeting people from all over, and we want to meet someone beyond just where we are located, and all that fun stuff and what comes with it. So what are some of the good, the bad, the ugly, a part of dating in these spaces and so forth? Now, I'm someone who has ventured in these spaces, so I know from experience what that's like, and I can share with you my own experiences as well too. But more importantly, in general, what is it like to be in these spaces? And it comes with a mixed bag of a lot of stuff. As I mentioned, you can find some good things, you can find some not so good things. So let me dive into the things which are not so good first, and then we'll get into the good stuff afterwards. And part of the not so good is that there is no sense of regulation to what is deemed acceptable. It's a anything goes marketplace. It's the wild, wild west. Like I said, anybody and everybody can get on there in these spaces, whether it be in social media platforms, whether it be in actual dating apps or dating sites, with regard to who and ever wants to get in there. Okay. And it's very tricky on many levels because of that. And these are some of the complaints that you would hear, particularly from women. Okay. Now, let me go back a bit in sort of like the history in relation to how we've gotten here, let's say. Because I know, for me, when I first entered in, some 15 plus years ago, it was a lot different space. Generally speaking, for most people, these sites were seemingly very legitimate, seemingly genuine in the people who were looking and stuff. However, that quickly changed on many fronts. And from the standpoint of a lot of these sites starting out being very sociable and free to use, to commodifying, monetizing, and profit orientated machines. So so that is what it has morphed into now, to where it's like a profit machine. All of these different apps and all this, so you're paying for your nickel and dime with every single thing in relation to being on these platforms. And this is not simply about you get what you pay for kind of stuff, because you don't get what you pay for in half of these things, and so forth. And so when you go in, half the time, and you're looking around, and again, it depends on what you're looking for, first of all, because some people go in very naively in some spaces and they find in something else, and half of them are sex driven anyway because sex sells. So even on some of what would be considered vanilla sites, okay, so people go in there and they go in, like I said, very genuine on generally the vanilla sites. That is like sites like Christian Singles, for example, or something like that. I've never been on Christian Singles, but I'm just giving one out there. I'm just kind of putting one out. Match.com or something like that. Very much very vanilla. But even some of these sites, they have been drawn to acquire people who have alternative motives types of things. So you have that. So the profit driven of you have to pay nickel and dime. The cost of membership goes up in that. And then let's say you're not finding what you're looking for, and then all of a sudden you want to cancel your membership, and then they are trying to wheel you back in because they don't want to live that membership. See, you paying however much you paying, $50-$60 a month, whatever you're paying, $100 a year, $200 a year, whatever the cost, depending on what site you're on. For this membership, you maybe not getting what you feel you want out of the membership. You want to cancel, and they're trying to keep you in because they're looking at you as a commodity, not so much of the value of helping you get an actual meet somebody, let alone get a date, start a relationship, and all that kind of stuff. They're not keeping scorecard to that. They simply want your membership and your dollars, period. For women, for most of these sites, there's probably at least anywhere between 100 to about 500 to 1, okay, guys compared to women, okay, in the heterosexual realm, okay. So if you're a lady looking for, there's going to be plenty of guys out there. You ain't have to worry about that because the selling of a lot of these sites is driven toward to get men's membership, not women, okay. And the hook in that, the trick bag, is that they, in these sites now, they have created bots. They have created fake profiles. They have created, now with AI, that's a whole third dimension of stuff that's trick bagging. And I'm not saying this is necessarily set up by the companies. It is in some incidences, but not in all. And some of them are done by scammers, okay? Because scammers are setting up these profiles to lure men in and to get you to, you thinking seemingly you're talking to this person and all that other stuff. Again, I'm focusing on the bad, okay? You think you're talking to someone and you're getting catfished, okay? You're getting scammed. Before you know it, you think, and then they're asking for your money. And some, some are very, trifling. They just straight out just say, like after the first few times, hey, what's your number? Can you send me this some money? Oh, but the more slick ones, they're gonna work with you for a little bit and all that. And there's plenty of stories out there. I mean, this is stuff that you can find online in these stories of people who have been catfished and scammed and trick bagged online. So what I'm saying is nothing new. And then by the day, as the saying goes, there's a sucker born every day. So we're seeing that happen, and folks are, again, men particularly, fall for it, thinking they're going to meet the woman of their dreams. And the next thing you know, she's saying something, something happened, I need some money, stuck here, or whatever the case is, and the guy is thinking, oh yeah, okay, I'll make some money, help her out, whatever kind of thing. And never hear from her again, or whoever it is, you see? So a lot of these profiles are set up this way to trick bag men, okay? And this is the hustle scam game of what, just as you've had many of thousands of type of scams going on, the Nigerian businessmen and all this other stuff that's out there. So so you have to be on alert first and foremost. Are you legitimately speaking with someone on the other side who you think you're speaking to? Whether you're a woman, again, in the heterosexual realm, and this happens in all realms. It happens with LGBTQ folks, straight folks, the same trick bag is going on. I know, again, where lesbian women thinking that they're meeting another one, or even a woman who's curious into that, thinks she's talking to another woman when she's actually talking to a guy. And certainly lesbians have been tricked, thinking they're talking to another woman, they're talking to a guy, and vice versa, where guys think they're talking to a woman, they're talking to a guy. Okay. And this type of thing is out there too. Okay. And so forth. So it happens in all and every, like I said, there's no rules. It's a wild west, again, on these dating apps and dating sites and all this other stuff. So we'll get into the good and what you can do to these things, to avoid these things. But this is the bad. This is the stuff that's out there that's really souring and hurting people, and really, like I said, pushing people away from getting on there because of that type of exposure, that vulnerability exposure. I'm talking about thing, because you have good intention, but other people don't. So therefore you get suckered into thinking that you're in a legitimate, or be building to be in a legitimate relationship with someone, and it's far from it. Okay, far from it. So that part of it is much very negative, much very bad. I already started first one with the membership thing to keep you on, tagged into that membership and making you feel as if you need it more than it needs you. Then secondly, you got to watch for the scammers and the catfishers along with that. And then third, you have to be mindful of the people who are, a person, but they just bad, So then you have to filter the type of people that you are trying to attract. Are you into, because they might not be all that in a bag of chips and for you as well too. So you have to, again, you have to filter through quite a bit when you're going to. So it's work intensive. Let's just say it that way. It's a work intensive thing, and it's going to take time and to meet someone. And who has that much time? A lot of people don't have that much time. And part of the reason why some people go online and go on dating apps, because it seems to be a time saver as opposed to going to the nightclub every weekend and spending, bukus of money at the club and getting, and all dressed up and doing all that kind of stuff. So you can be at home sitting there in your pajamas and doing whatever and be online and talking to somebody and, going back and forth with all that. But it's not as legitimate as it appears to be when you're getting on these sites. Like I said, there's no rules or rhyme to it. Anybody and everybody can set up a dating app and off and running, and they take no responsibility for who gets on there. And dangerously is the fact that you have folks who are not even legal, age legal on there, are people who are looking for that, that type of predatory stuff out there too. So, and this is where if you have children who are teenagers or, like I said, under 18, you want to make sure that you're doing your due diligence with them so that they don't get caught up in this stuff, especially for the girls, because of the body shaming and the things that happen with that we hear about with a lot of what's going on in schools and different things relating to guys posting up pictures. And this is not even high school guys per se. We're talking about adult men who are luring young girls, believing that they're talking to like a boy their age, like 13, 14 or whatever, and getting them to send them pictures of themselves, and then essentially blackmailing them, okay, and so forth. So, like I said, that's like I said, this is the horrible, this is the ugly side of this, and it happens not just we're talking about younger people, but it happens to adults as well too. Getting caught into some stuff, particularly folks who are side dipping, in other words, cheating on their spouse, and then they get caught up with somebody who uses that against them. Okay, because they're trying to have some side fun or whatever the case is, and this person is leveraging that for themselves so they can get something out of you, which generally mostly times is money or gifts or whatever, which is again illegal. So you got to make sure you're doing your homework in the best way possible to prevent any and everything relating to any of that stuff. Okay, as it relates to that, that's just a drop in a bucket of some stuff that goes with the negative and the bad, as far as being online, dating online, because a lot of people, like I said, innocently are not aware of it. I mean, and then even if you are aware of it, you still can get duped. Okay, you still can get duped even if you are aware of these things, and you might be trying to safeguard yourself with certain things. Certainly, like I said, I'm gonna get into some aspects of that coming up, but I want to take a quick stop break, and then I'm going to come back with the good. So I'm going to stop here dealing with the bad parts. I think I covered some good parts of that, and then I'm going to come back with the good in the second part to this component of dating online, dating apps, and what you should know. And stay tuned for part 2 of this on Relationships Unfiltered.